Hello, my name's Semma, the semaphore signal from your local railway, here to bring you information that actually could be useful, but this time it's not so fun. The railways in Britain are a sight to behold, and sometimes, especially if you're a rail enthusiast like me, you've got to stop and appreciate just how far we've come. This video is about High Speed 2, or HS2 for short. HS2 is the successor to HS1, who would have guessed? HS1 opened on the 6th of November 2007, provided a quick link between London and the Channel Tunnel, and is not only used by Southeastern services, but the Eurostar too, connecting the UK to everywhere else. Only physically though. Of course though, the rest of the UK wants high-speed rail too, not just London. So in 2009, HS2 Limited was formed and funded by the Department of Transport to create a new high-speed line from London to Birmingham and onwards, possibly even reaching Scotland. Here's the first proposal for HS2's route, revealed in March of 2010. It would start in London, then travel up to Birmingham, where trains could curve off into Birmingham city centre and/or continue up north. That was phase 1 of the plan. In phase 2, they planned 2 branches, 2A up to Crewe, Manchester and the northwest, and 2B to the East Midlands, Leeds and the northeast. In addition to this, a small link was planned between HS1 and HS2 in London, so they could travel between one another. This all sounds quite ambitious now, doesn't it? Phase 1 is all they're doing now, as of 2023. Just London and Birmingham, and all of phase 2 and the HS1 link have all been cancelled. After spending all that money in planning. They don't ever plan on giving this another go, by the way. I wonder what people think of this. Do you use railways in the UK?
Yeah, of course. I go on railways all the time. It's kind of a big hobby of mine.
You're my voice actor. I can't interview you.
Oh, come on! That's not fair. What?
Do you use railways in the UK?
I do when I need to travel or something, but I don't use them as often now because I can walk everywhere.
I do. I take them to Sutton when I go to my dad's house.
Yes, all the time. Literally all the time, every day. I do very often actually, mainly to get to Birmingham though.
Do you feel that railways in the UK could do with massive improvement works?
Absolutely. I feel like the railways could be improved in some way. For example, they're either always late.
I mean, I'm of the belief that all public transport should be free, so I guess that would be my improvement. But honestly, I'm not sure how that would be implemented, specifically to the HS2.
I know loads of people struggle, especially with wheelchairs, to get on and off the trains because there isn't ramps or anything useful.
Definitely, mainly because of timings and how consistent they are, which is not much.
HS2 was originally planned to go from London to Birmingham and then continue on to Manchester and Leeds, but it's now only going as far as London to Birmingham. What are your thoughts on this?
I feel like that's actually really stupid. The amount of money that's actually gone into it, that could have gone into other things. And also the farmers' lands and animals' habitats. They've been absolutely destroyed by this, and now it's only going from Birmingham to London.
I disagree with the whole project anyway. I think it's bad for the environment. I think it's bad for the people in the way. But now that it's only become a half-finished version of what it was supposed to be, I think it's even more of a waste.
I think it should go further to Manchester and Leeds because there's a lot of people in Manchester that have to do swaps.
If HS2 had fulfilled its original proposal, do you think it would have been worth it?
I don't think it would have been worth it. While it sounds like a good idea, we're the only country without this train, that's why we're building it. I feel like it would have been a waste of time.
I think the people who used it probably would have liked it, but most of the people who used it would have been businessmen, and they wouldn't have took into account the impact it would have had on more working class people, especially the people who live by it.
I think it would have been worth it. A lot of people need a continuous train all throughout. I think it's going to be worth it anyway, to be fair, because we do need more trains, especially going to Birmingham and London. But I do think it would have been better if it had stuck to its original plan.
What do HS2's cancellations tell you about our railways?
I think it tells us that our railways are incompetent, and it just shows that we're not as advanced as like Japan with their bullet trains.
They cannot be trusted. They can't be relied on.
It's very unreliable.
They need to put more things for like the elderly, for disabilities.
Like most trains, they're not very consistent in timing, and that the cancellations are causing a lot of issues on travel, and I think we need to up our game in that.
What do you think HS2's budget could have been better spent on?
The roads! The roads, or public services, or stuff like that, or people in need.
I'd say the NHS. I'd say there's a very long waiting line for a lot of urgent care that's needed. I think the education system could have been much more improved, and the money could have been put towards that.
I think it would have been better spent on the workers who are doing the trains, because I am aware that some of them went on strike. So I think we should have put more money into the people working on it.
So, as you can see, a lot of people aren't so on board with the idea. Just to make sure though, I've conducted a survey about HS2 so we can get some sweet and salty statistics. Out of the people who answered my survey, half of them use public transport every day, and 2/3 of them said they'd want to use public transport more instead of the car if there was just better funding for it nationwide. In addition to this, I asked how likely people would be to use HS2 when Phase 1 gets built, and how much HS2 would improve the railways, on a scale from 1 to 10. On average, the likeliness scale only got a 3.5, and the improvement scale got a 4.83. Both pretty low numbers, considering how ambitious HS2's plans were at the start. As you can see, HS2 is a controversial topic. And it's time to bring up one of the points that a few of the people I interviewed mentioned: the impact of the infrastructure itself. Roadworks are taking place at several locations in the West Midlands and on the way to London, to allow for the railway to pass over or under the roads. Here at Streethay Junction on the A38 just north of Lichfield, construction works have been going on since September of 2022 and aren't expected to be finished until at least December of 2026. I think I might even form a thought before that happens. It's not just roads that are being affected though. Miles and miles of tranquil countryside are having this new high-speed line blasted straight through the middle of them. And while yes, it's an inescapable consequence of building new railways, farmers and agriculture workers are understandably not in favour of this. In some cases, there are buildings in the way of the new line that have to be completely knocked down. For example, this is the old clubhouse building at Whittington Golf Club, just down the road from Lichfield. It's grade listed and has existed here since the 18th century. Well, it's gone. They had to demolish the building to make way for HS2, and this also results in the golf course itself being split in two. Yeah, HS2 has been a bit of a mess. A lot of a mess even. But there are some positives. Since HS2 Limited was formed, there have been over 100 job opportunities opening up, all in different fields and categories. And when Phase 1 does eventually open, which is expected to be sometime after 2033, it will improve journey times, which means the people of the UK will get around faster. But 2033 is still 7 to 8 years away as of right now. Mind you, when HS2 was given the green light in 2012, Phase 1 was scheduled to open next year. All around the world, trains are getting better and better, faster than you can wait for your next train home since the one you were going to get got cancelled and the following one has been delayed by 47 minutes. Yet it's taking us over 20 years to build a little over 100 miles of new track. Why is this the case? Well, I couldn't tell you. It's a long, convoluted mix of issues with Britain's economy and politics that I won't go into for this video. So if you ask me, here's a good place to leave it. HS2 is a shining example of how Britain's railways are just not up to speed, which is a shame. As someone who wants to advocate for public transport, it's very hard to do so in the UK, since the services, especially outside of London, are really subpar. Well, I guess I'll just be here letting trains through one at a time, if they ever do show up.